In this video, we'll see how to create a no spray zone and a fog route layer for use with the Adulticiding program. These options are presented in the Adulticiding menu to set the layer, but that assumes that they've already been created. So we want to show briefly how that's done. We'll just use the standard ARC catalog window, and in this case I'm going to browse to my database server connection, into my SQL Express SDE instance, and my Sentinel GIS database. I'm going to right click the database and create a new feature class, and we'll call this one no spray. I could create that feature class or even a shapefile anywhere. I just happen to put it in my database with the rest of the data. That'll be polygon features. We'll click next. For the coordinate system, I can import the coordinate system from an existing layer in my Sentinel database. So I've already got a fogger log layer, for example, and that's state plane Idaho Central. I do have to specify a coordinate system before it'll let me create a new feature class. Take the defaults for the next two panels, and then in the final panel I can define additional attributes. Object ID and shape are created automatically. I could put in other fields such as type, comments, date added. This is really completely up to you what kind of attributes you have for the no spray layer. None are required for Adulticiding. And I'll finish. So that will add the no spray zone layer to my map. I can configure the appearance of it. Maybe I want to make it a bright yellow color. Before I start creating some no spray areas in this layer, let's go through the same process to create the spray route layer. So I'll right click the database, new feature class, and I'll call this one spray route. This has to be a line feature. Same thing, I'll import the coordinate system setting from an existing feature class. And in this one, when it gets to the attributes page, I do have to have a name field. I'll just call it route name, and I can make it maybe 30 characters long. When I press finish, it'll add that into my table of contents, and again I can specify the appearance of it. Okay, so now I have a no spray zone layer and a spray route layer added to my map. I'm going to save my map. The next step would be to actually create features in these feature classes. To do that, I'll use the standard editing tools. So I'll go to Editor and start editing. Now when I attempt to edit the no spray zone layer, okay, so the Create Features dialog comes up. I want to create a no spray zone layer, and I can just draw in a feature. Snapping is automatically turned on, so I know that there's a park in that block. I can just draw that feature in and finish it. Another method of entering no spray zones would be based on addresses. So let's say, for example, that a homeowner calls in and says that you shouldn't spray near their address. We can use the standard find tool in ArcGIS, and we can find locations using the ArcGIS Online North American Geocoding Service, or US Streets Geocoding Service. Then we can type in an address. So I'm going to put in 420 South Alder Street, Jerome, Idaho, and that will attempt to find that address using the ArcGIS Online Geocoding service. So in this case it does find one. There's 420 Alder Street. If I had a parcels layer, I could just trace the outline of that particular parcel. But if I right click the result here and zoom to it, I can zoom in a little bit farther, and then I could just draw in a new no spray zone right around that address. Okay. If I wanted to enter in any attributes, then I can either press the attributes button here on the editor toolbar, or I can switch to the attributes tab here on the editor, and I can put in some information about this particular no spray request. Okay. Now if I'd like to create a new spray route, let's say that I'm going to create a spray route for some of this neighborhood here, then I would switch back to my Create Features, select the Spray Route feature, and then I would draw in my preferred route through this neighborhood. So I can just simply click to add vertices on this this line. This line can cross itself and so on, that's alright. I'll just double click to end that and go to Attributes, and this route name, let's say, is West Side Neighborhood. Okay. There are some tools as well when I'm creating a line feature to do tracing. So let's say that I start the route here and I want to trace down this road. I can use the trace tool here, click the feature I want to trace, and then just drag the mouse along and it will automatically trace that feature for me. So I can use any of the standard editing tools in ArcGIS Desktop. Now let's say that I create this this new feature here, and I also call it West Side Neighborhood because it's another part of that route, but it's not joined. Well, in that case, I could actually open up the table here, select both of them, or I could do the same thing using the select features here, select them both, and in the editor toolbar I can merge those two features together. So now, although those are disconnected from each other, they now form one line feature called West Side Neighborhood. So that's what you'd need to do if you have multiple sections of a route that don't necessarily connect. So I'll go to Editor, stop editing, save my edits, and now in Adulticiding I would just ensure that the fog route layer is set to spray routes using route name, 100-foot warning distance. I could specify a warning sound file if I wanted to. And the same thing for the no spray zone layer. Specify that I'm using no spray. I want to be warned if I'm within 100 feet of it, and then save that. So that covers creating a no spray and spray route feature class and creating some features within them.